All right, so you spent most of your day tending to this machine
Yeah.
as it sits in place, so that's one of and steam engine's job many times is stay in one place and work all day long.
Well, we usually, we just done it this year
Right,
for this one,
right.
but we usually go out and plow with it or something in
Yes,
good
sir.
time, and then put it on the pony brake.
Yes, sir. I learned yesterday that normally there was a much larger engine that sat here to power up the Powerhouse.
Yeah, boiler.
Yes.
Just the boiler itself, yeah.
And it was
It just
did not pass inspection.
Did
I
not
guess there
pass
were some doubts about it last year,
Yeah.
and nobody took enough initiative to do anything to get that problem corrected. It might be money as well. I don't
Well,
know.
they just hadn't figured out which way to go.
Yes, sir.
You know, they don't know where. They've been keeping an eye on for another old boiler. And they was talking about getting a newer deal,
Yes, sir.
but you know they'd rather stay with the old if they could.
I understand that actually put out a lot more steam than
Yeah.
this normally does. So my main question I was going to ask you was, how did it perform yesterday? Was it suitable?
It was. It took all it could do.
Yes.
The other boiler they pulled out was 3 to 4 times bigger.
I see. Yeah.
This is this is the biggest boiler down here at the moment, so
Yes, sir.
where if this is rated for a 90 horse and that in there is 250 horse.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I noticed that there were several machines in there which require steam to be
Yeah.
able to run, and they weren't able to run them
And they wasn't
all
able
at
to
the
run
same
at the same
time.
time.
I figured probably if I had gotten here some years earlier, I would have seen everything
Yeah,
operating.
last year they could run everything.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's what they're trying to. It'll be back right next year probably.
yes, yes. Well, when I talked to you yesterday, you were busy shoveling coal.
Yeah.
And let's go over that again a little bit. As you're producing probably the maximum steam that this could possibly produce, how busy were you continuously yesterday?
You stay busy.
Yeah.
'Cause you got to watch your water. He's always taking in water when you're running like that. You got your injectors going, injecting water in it. You got to keep your water tank full. And like I said, you shoveling coal. We put three deals of coal in it, bunkers
Yeah.
through it yesterday.
And that looks like it's probably around 100 gallons or so
Yeah.
of capacity.
Probably 120 gallon tank.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, filled with this small chunky coal here.
And that's the last of Oklahoma coal.
Is that right?
There's no more Oklahoma coal mines in Oklahoma.
Well, I'll say. Is that a good thing or a bad thing these days?
I don't know. Usually this is the smallest coal we ever ran. We usually run neat chunks about like that
Oh, I see, yes.
and burns better. That way air can get up around it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the reason we're putting so much wood in it now that it'll be new before all this wood burns out. 'Cause
Yeah,
even though we're running on coal, it let the air and stuff come up.
I see. Is there a preference on wood that you like to burn in the firebox?
Nah, we just burn whatever's left over from the sawmills and stuff.
I see, yeah. Which probably isn't much cottonwood.
No.
Cottonwood burns up pretty fast, in my
Yeah, most of
experience.
it be probably oak, con,
Yeah,
probably some elm in there, but not very many cottonwoods.
right.
We got our engine part shut off at the moment, so there won't be no accidentally deals happen.
Yes.
And like I said, it's how about it wasn't. We worked the boiler pretty hard yesterday.
Yes. So you really don't have to worry much about lubricating a lot of the parts that you'd normally have to lubricate.
Yeah.
As some of the other fellows
Yeah.
are doing right now.
But it just when I did when he did his deal in there, I would shut it down, you know, and it would just pretty near kill my steam.
Oh yeah. Now, did that blower have to be set up specifically to handle that problem, or did that already exist?
No, it all engines got it. A lot of people turn them on about right now. See, we're above 25 pounds. Especially get the coal and stuff burning better.
Yes, sir.
Instead of you know, it takes, you know, you can rotate your engine at 25, but your steam change, especially the older guys, they never did like rotate their engines till they get up 50 or plus.
I see.
Steam gets drier as it gets
hotter. I see. Interesting.
That's reading some of them. We got this boiler set in at 145. Some got 125. So you change your steam gets drier as you go up. You can use it's a better steam, produce more power.
Yes.
And you know, some of the older guys wouldn't even hardly move their engines till they get 75 pounds.
I see.
And some, you know, 75. Seem like changes about every 25 to 30 pounds. Most of them. And you'll have some set up at even up to 160 pounds. That if they really want to, they're plowing hard and stuff.
Yes.
More extra.
Yes.
This one, that's about where, this was 145 when we bought it. We cut it back to 125 for 3 years. We changed pop-offs on it. That was our pop-off we had at the time. But
I see.
we turned it back up to 145 a few years ago. When the son started running, that he was wanting to do a little bit more.
Yes. Okay. Now, as far as lubrication goes, I presume that there are different types of lubricant that need to be used on a machine like this.
You got an oiler for your cylinder that pumps steam oil into your steam line going to your cylinder, to oil the cylinder. Then
would that be called steam oil?
Yeah, it's special steam oil that will mix with the water and oil.
Okay.
Water and steam better. And like on your blocks and your bearings and stuff, you can use regular grease, 90 weight.
I see.
Your bearings and stuff.
Now this uses drive gear on the rear wheel here. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. It seems like that those would get pretty darn nasty, especially if you're out plowing.
Yeah. You grease them and you put grease on the gears and everything.
Right. And still use the same type of grease?
Yeah.
I see.
We just use gun grease. Back in that day, they'll come out. I have a 5-gallon bucket.
Yes, sir. Kind of like I'm used to in the oil patch.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously we've got a number of things going on here, and it involves pressure. That means a need for gasketing material. I would think that in many cases this gets fairly hot.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think that rubber gaskets would really work out that well. So
Well,
what's the solution?
Yeah, on the valves and stuff, like I said, you got to watch when you buy valves because most of them are rubber sealed anymore. Only thing rubber sealed on these are these handhold plates. They got rubber. It's rubber gasket. You can get some made out of your fibers,
I see.
but most of them are old ones here. But they're just rubber ring. Go around here. That seals it. That's the only thing that's rubber in there, and the press and the water. Most of that's on below your. They won't seem like they won't melt out. They probably
Yes, sir.
pretty good rubber, but anything else rubber you can tell by my rubber on my handle.
Oh yes.
It
Let's see if I can zoom in on that.
gets pretty hot.
There you go.
But that's the only thing some of them use. Got fiber gaskets.
I see.
We always put rubber on them.
I'm familiar with the old-fashioned windmills.
Yeah.
And they had a need for gases, of course, and the pump mechanisms.
Yeah.
And those were primarily leather.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of leather that was being used around.
Well, like all our pump seals and your piston rod seals, all that packing, rope
sir.
packing, you put in
Okay.
there, and which is made out of fiber.
Yes.
Yeah. Put these beef out, same like your packing in your wellheads,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
polish rods.
Right. I had to tear down and put back together a number of drilling rig tail pumps,
Yeah.
pumping that mud down the hole.
Same time did it. Put that rope in there and
Yes, sir.
tie that nut back down.
Yes, sir. Sometimes I kind of wonder if some of our newer technology is, maybe not a huge improvement over some of the older materials that were in use.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many steam pumps and stuff. You know, I worked in Conoco refinery a little bit back in the 90s, and they were still using a lot of steam pumps.
I say.
You know, I think a lot of it's been changed over to electricity now, but you know, they had just the old pumps that were still
Yes.
ran off steam
Yes.
back then. Yeah.